You know, it's one of those big questions we all wrestle with. If there's an all-merciful creator, why does the world seem to run on such strict, unbending laws? And why is there so much suffering? Well, today, we're going to dive into a really radical answer to that age-old question.
So let's just start by flipping a huge assumption completely on its head. What if mercy isn't the exception to the rule? What if mercy is the rule? Honestly, that one idea, it changes absolutely everything.
Most of us, right, we think of mercy as a pardon. You know, that one moment the rules are bent for us, an act of kindness that happens despite the law. But what if we've been looking at it completely backward? What if mercy is the actual foundation of the entire system?
Let's really dig into this apparent conflict, because the sources we're looking at today suggest a totally different way of thinking, a paradigm where law and mercy aren't fighting each other at all. Turns out, they might just be two sides of the very same coin.
Okay, so instead of some random act of kindness, I want you to picture mercy as the architectural blueprint for all of existence. Like a giant, intricate clockwork of compassion where every single gear, every moving part has a purpose and operates under precise, predictable principles.
The core idea here is a concept called Sunnat Allah. And the easiest way to think about it is this. Divine interaction isn't magic, it's mechanics. Seriously. From the orbit of a planet to an act of forgiveness, everything, and I mean everything, operates within a flawless, predictable system of laws, just like physics or biology.
And this verse, wow, it really gets to the heart of it. It's suggesting that even what we call punishment isn't some angry, arbitrary act. It's simply the system's own laws correcting an imbalance. But mercy? Mercy is the all-encompassing environment that everything else exists within.
This is such a huge shift in perspective. We move away from thinking about an unpredictable, emotional deity to a creator who operates through consistent, understandable laws. So in this view, punishment isn't personal. It's a systemic course correction, kind of like how a fever fights an infection to get your body back to a state of health.
Okay, so if mercy is a system, where do we fit in? Well, this framework suggests we are not just passive subjects waiting around for a divine handout. No, we are active partners, or maybe better put, trustees, who are actually tasked with maintaining this divine architecture.
And this just completely redefines what devotion even means. It's not about passive ritual. This concept, Ubudiyyah, suggests a dynamic, active partnership. It's the conscious, rational work of applying the system's laws of morality and justice out in the world. It's about choosing to become a functional, vital gear in that clockwork of compassion.
So true devotion isn't just a feeling inside. It has to translate into these three very concrete actions. This is how abstract faith becomes a real, tangible force for social good, turning us as individuals into conduits for the system's built-in mercy. And what's the ultimate goal of all this active devotion? It's to become one of these salihin. And these are people who are defined not just by their personal piety, but by their positive, corrective impact on society. They're like the master mechanics, you know? The ones who are actively maintaining and improving the system for everyone else.
This just reinforces our active role again and again. Success in this system isn't just a gift, it's earned. The term used is warith, and it basically means you don't just inherit something, you have to prove you are worthy of it. You have to earn your place through your actions.
But this brings us to the biggest challenge, the elephant in the room. If this whole system is designed with mercy as its core principle, then what about pain? Why does a merciful system include so much suffering?
All right, let's tackle this question head on. Because according to the source material we're looking at, suffering is not a system failure. It's not a bug. It's presented as a functional, fully integrated, and purposeful component of the architecture. A feature, not a bug.
So, according to this framework, suffering actually serves three distinct but overlapping purposes. It's a tool for finding us as individuals, it's a trigger for getting communities to act, and it's a guarantee that our actions have real, unavoidable consequences.
So how does this framework handle the most difficult question of all? The suffering of an innocent child. It explains it systemically. The physical event, say, an illness, is a result of impartial natural laws. But the true moral event, the real test, is for the community. The framework suggests the injustice isn't the disease itself, but the failure of the rest of us to use our intellect and resources to act. It places the moral responsibility squarely on our shoulders. And this leads to a core principle that's just woven into the very fabric of the system, this partnership between challenge and relief. Now, notice the wording here. It's not that ease comes after hardship, but with it. The idea is that the hardship itself actually contains the seed of its own resolution, and it's all part of training us for our mission.
So, how do we start living within this system day to day? Well, we start by recognizing that the entire universe, every star, every mountain, every single drop of rain, operates as a sign of this purposeful, law-governed mercy. Here's a fascinating idea I absolutely love. The physical world itself is a text. It's a book of nature, revealing the wisdom and order of its author to anyone who just stops, observes, and uses their intellect to actually read it.
From the perfect clockwork orbits of stars to the stabilizing force of mountains, nature isn't presented as random at all. It's a whole series of purposeful, interconnected systems, all of them designed to sustain life and to guide us, if only we'd pay attention.
So, this entire perspective leaves us with a pretty provocative final question. It shifts us from being passive subjects just waiting for intervention to being active participants. It asks us, if we are trustees in a system that is literally built on mercy, how can we become better architects of that mercy in our own world?